to another episode of DMV Crime Watch, where we share true crime cases from the DMV area. Let's begin. Arlington, Virginia, July 13th, 1994. A foul smell would fill an apartment complex, like no smell residents have smelled before. Police arrived to an apartment located at 5565 Columbia Pike. When police arrived, they were familiar with the smell and knew that they were about to open an investigation for a deceased person. In the apartment, they would find a man stabbed to death several times to his neck and shoulder area. That man was Arnett Bartlett. Arnett worked for a trucking company that delivered foods. He lived alone in his apartment, and police noted that it did not look like there was forced entry. So the suspect is possibly someone that Arnett knew, but they do not want to rule out anyone that he may not have known, like a salesman or a telemarketer. They did not find a murder weapon, so the suspect must have taken it with them or could possibly disposed of it, or they are still holding on to it. This case remains unsolved and is considered cold until authorities gain new tips into what happened to Arnett. If you have any tips, please contact Crime Solvers at 866-411-8477. Washington, D.C., December 24th, 1962. On Christmas Eve, a woman will be found murdered in her apartment. As the years have passed, we need tips to finally get a suspect and have them charged in this case. Christine Burke, 38, lived at 2705 13th Street, Northeast, and inside, on December 24th, she would be found murdered. Police have not released how Christine was found murdered and continue to keep those facts close to investigators. As this case happened long ago, the suspect in this case may or may not be alive, but we need people who saw or heard something that day to come forward. If you have any tips, please contact 202-727-9099. Howard County, Maryland, November 29th, 1976. An uncle and niece would be taken by surprise when two assailants came into the business, taking the life of one of the victims. A normal day where an uncle decided to take his niece to work would end in tragedy. Leroy Bass was the owner of the Bass Motel. He would bring his niece to work with him on the day of November 29th, 1976. Two African American males would enter the hotel and ask Leroy for a room. Like normal protocol, he would prepare the room for them, and his niece would be helping, so she went to go grab the sheets. When she returned, she knew something was wrong when she saw her uncle running. One of the African American males would place the niece in the office bathroom. She heard a gunshot, and when she felt that the robbers were gone, she would call the police. Unfortunately, her uncle Leroy would succumb to the injuries from this incident. This case has happened almost 50 years ago, and the suspects have remained unknown for that much time. If you have any tips, please contact 410-653-4211. Wraps up another episode of DMV Crime Watch. Be sure to subscribe to our channel to stay in the know with crimes that's happening in the DMV area. Until next time, stay safe.